Where can you legally live in your car in Florida? Well, when I went on a journey 3 years ago, sold my house, all my belongings, and started living in my car, before I got in my car, I researched online one major thing that was going to determine if I was going to live in my car, which was, is it legal to live in your car? And the general answer, if you research that question, is yes, it is legal to live in your car as long as you park legally. And that, you're not trespassing on property, or you're not sleeping in your car in certain counties, in certain towns that prohibit you doing so. But I can tell you with certainty, at least in my experience, where you can park legally to live in your car in Florida. And I'll use some general terms that you can use no matter what state in America you're in. But I'm choosing Florida for this specific video because part of my reason for living in my car was because I wanted to sell my house in New Jersey and move down to Florida. But I wasn't ready to buy a home in Florida. I wasn't ready to commit, and I wanted flexibility to be able to move until I found an area in Florida I liked. And if a hurricane came, I wasn't committed to a piece of land. Flexibility is your number one asset living mobile, and I've learned to grow and like that asset more and more. So the number one place you can live in your car legally in Florida is campgrounds. Now, campgrounds can be any state, but let's talk specifically Florida. What you need to do is go to Walmart, and for $25, you can get a basic tent. A basic tent. And when you go to campgrounds, you register as a tent camper. You can go to state parks. Florida has beautiful state parks right by the ocean and inland. You can go to county parks. Also, beautiful parks, well kept. These parks have laundry facilities, common showers, and sometimes many more amenities. Okay. So this is where you can legally park, but you have to register as a tent camper. Do you have to set up your tent? You may not have to, but for 10 minutes or whatever it's going to take to set up a basic small tent, even if you set it up and you stay in your car and you run an extension cord from your campsite into your car to power your electronics, heater, air conditioning, etc. I saw a lady last year staying at a Florida state park in a minivan, ran an extension cord from her campsite into her car to run an air conditioner, TV, etc. You can legally park in campgrounds. Now, I know what your next question is. Well, how much is that going to cost? Now, at a campground, such as a state park or county park in Florida, you're looking at approximately $26 per night to $30 per night. Okay. Now, that could get expensive. That could be $800 to $900 per month. Yes, it includes utilities. Yes, it includes common showers, but that's still expensive for a lot of people. But I'm answering the question, where can you live legally in your car in Florida? Now I'll tell you where you can live legally in your car in Florida for free. You can go to the Florida Water Management District website. You want to go to the recreational area on the website, navigate to a special use permit for camping. Throughout the state of Florida, it's broken up into different districts: Southwest, Southeast, Northwest, Central, etc. Within those different regions of the state are state-run campgrounds, but mainly for primitive camping, meaning you don't have electrical hookups, you don't have water or sewer. It's for primitive tent camping. For those places, and I have stayed at those places, they're usually in the middle of nowhere. You probably won't have to set up your tent, but you will have to take out a permit. Depending on the campground in the region, it may be for 8 days. So you can stay for 8 consecutive days. You have to leave the system maybe 2 days, then you can come back. Sometimes there's a restriction, like you can only stay at one campsite 30 days every 6 months. So it's one tool for a certain amount of the year that you can stay free. Next is in the middle, Thousand Trail Campgrounds. Thousand Trails is a camping membership package. For $600 per year, you can stay at the Thousand Trails Campgrounds as a tent camper for the entire year, with full utility hookups, with full common shared showers and laundry. There's 3,000 trail campgrounds in Florida. One I think is in Wildwood, Florida. One is right by Orlando, Florida. Orlando, Florida, Thousand Trails Campground is the biggest and probably best one. And the third one is by Peace River, Wakachopli, Florida, something like that. They're all in the central region. They're not by the ocean. They're about an hour somewhat away from the ocean. But if you move every 4 days, you could stay there pretty much unlimited throughout the year. Now, during the peak season, December through April, you may have some issues making reservations or being able to stay a certain time. But as a tent camper, if you move every 4 days, you technically don't have to get out of the system. You can stay up to 14 days in Thousand Trails, but then you have to be out of the system for 7 days if you just have the camping pass. I'm talking about different resources where you can park and stay legally as a tent camper living in your car. Now, you can also stealth camp, but is that legal? It depends on the town. It depends on the place that you're going to do it. As an example, Walmart or Crackle Barrel. Some of them, not all, some of them do allow overnight parking in your vehicle for one night. Okay. That's the general rule. I see people stay more. It's mainly addressed to RVers, but I've seen van dwellers there and car dwellers. Depends on the town. But I try not to give you that in this video because stealth camping is a whole nother package. I'm talking about straight up legal parking and living in your car. In county parks in Florida, there's a lot. State parks in Florida, there's a lot. The Florida Water Management District, free camping if you take out a permit on their website. The Thousand Trails camping package, $600 for the entire year. You'll have no problem making reservations between May to October or November. Once you get into the peak of the season, December through April, it's going to be maybe a little bit tougher to get campgrounds that have availability. But you have a few different major resources where you can go as a tent camper, buy a $25 tent from Walmart, and keep it moving in accordance with the rules to each individual resource that I gave you. But it is legal, and I just gave you factual examples that I have used to legally live in your car, okay, to park legally, to sleep legally. You're a tent camper. You're setting up a tent. You're either paying for a campground, you're going for free, and you're taking out a permit legally, or you're buying a membership, $600 for an entire year. You know, I don't know what that breaks down to, $50 or less a month, if that. You could pay per month. Check out the Thousand Trails website for the basic camping package. Now, again, you'll have to decide if you want to be in the areas these resources are. Okay. But obviously the ones in Orlando, the 1,000 trails in Orlando, that's by a major metropolitan, so you should be able to work, sleep, and you're going to have to move a little bit. Movement is part of the nomadic life, movement. It's a little bit frustrating at times. You're going to spend some money in gas, but if you plan, you should be able to live very frugally, very cheap. Once you get a routine, you should be able to stabilize the anxiety of moving. Once you become familiar with the parks, familiar with the setup, and once you have your $25 tent and you set it up, you don't have to worry about people looking at you like you're doing something wrong. I worried about that, but you're complying with the law. And that gives you a peace of mind knowing that, like, you're not walking around like, someone's trying to get you in trouble. I'm not saying this will work for everyone. You'll have to evaluate your own individual circumstance. But I want to share with you resources that you can use to live very cheap, very legally. A tent camper at state parks, county parks, free Florida Water Management District campsites, and the 1,000 Trails Camping Pass. Using those variety of resources, you now have home bases, places to go throughout the course of the year to safely and legally park, to have peace of mind, to have a direction and a foundation on where to go at the end of the night, to set up camp, to relax. Some of these places, like the 1,000 Trails in Orlando, they got beautiful pool. They got beautiful amenities. They're located right by shopping centers. You don't have to do much traveling. So I hope this helped you. I hope it provided you some information, some inspiration, and some factual evidence, but also hope. Because I'm not basing these things just on opinion. These are actual resources that you can research, that you're going to have to figure out if it works for you. I can't guarantee it'll work for you, but I want to share to help you, okay? To give you options. I'm not saying this will work for you, but I'm giving you options, and that helps, especially when you're desperate or you don't know. So if you appreciate that, I appreciate if you click the thumbs up. Also thinking about clicking that blue join button if you'd like to join my channel and be part of member-only chats. You'll get a custom member badge, custom emojis. But you can subscribe for free. You can watch my over 2,000 videos I have on my YouTube channel, some of which I've made videos of these campsites, all for free. So, thank you for watching. Hopefully this video helped you in some way. Have a great day, and you can live a great life without a lot of money, very legally, if you put a little bit of thought, a little bit of effort, and a little bit of creativity into living life on your terms. God bless.